Mike 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7, 2, 3, 4. You juice the pallets. The fact that you probably squinted at that and typed that all out, I am Godspeed for the joke. You put a lot of effort into that, thank you. You're probably like... Stupid name. Alright, so this match comes to us from LuvisBlind02, who has 233 hours in the game. So, pretty, comparably fresh to this game. I know it sounds funny because, like, technically you could learn, like, a whole language in, like, 300 hours. But in Dead by Daylight, you really start getting a, kind of, like, a sense of the game. I feel like 500 to 1,000 hours is when you start, like, understanding the game in a fairly, like, complete way, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, this one is a Pyramid Head match, which is our first Pyramid Head match that's ever been submitted to the match review, so that's pretty exciting. I'm very excited to review that. Pyramid Head is somebody that I've been personally trying to get better at lately, even though I didn't play them today. And, yeah, I can't wait to see what you do. So right away, I'm seeing Fractured, which is not in your favor. Luckily, they're reworking this map soon, but Fractured Cowshed is... always has been one of the most, you know, Survivor-sided maps in the game. It's like top 5 for Survivor. It's very, very strong. So, a lot can go wrong here. Let me take a peek at your build. You got double range. Good. Those are the add-ons you should be running. You got Nowhere to Hide, Cobb, Corrupt, and Plaything at yellow. If you're going to be running a, like a kick perk, definitely recommend Overcharge over Colubrine at this point. Because even though I don't think Colubrine is bad, like a lot of people say it is now, Overcharge is probably the better pick because you get the skill check along with the regression, you know? So it's kind of a little bit beefier version of what you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Not just always a tree. Yeah, I love Pyramid Head. I just wish I was better at him. Which you know, I'm not bad. I'm just being hard on myself. I just wish I was like cracked, you know? I want to get cracked. Okay, first thing I want to point out, which you do find somebody, thankfully, but be careful about this. This is just a general tip for everybody. If you're using the perk Corrupt Intervention, one of the bad things you can do that kind of like puts down your own value out of the perk is chasing into your Corrupt. Because what happens is when you start chasing into your Corrupt, where all your Corrupted gens are, you're essentially wasting a lot of time around these gens while the other 3 survivors spread out and go to the uncorrupted gens and get them done relatively quickly. So it's better to chase survivors outside of your corrupt, even if you like see somebody there. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully you can chase her out of this zone, but if you end up chasing her in this zone, this could be potentially bad. Yeah, you're chasing her through the corrupt. Nice shot. Very good shot. With Pyramid Head, a lot of like hesitation will cause you to miss shots, so the fact that you're already being snippy with it is very good. Perfect, you just zone there. Okay, you get a little excited, which is okay. Yeah, perfect. Besides, obviously, the chasing into your corrupt, which I just mentioned, but, you know, it was a relatively quick chase, so it shouldn't matter that much. Shouldn't matter that much. Basically, anything in Dead by Daylight is good if your chase is really quick, which is kind of funny. Like, everything that's bad becomes unbad as long as your chases can be quick. Oh, you were... Once again, I say this a lot in a lot of match reviews. If you know there are multiple survivors around, like in this situation, a dry kick is not worth it. Because a dry kick is only 2.5% of a gen's progress, and they're just going to immediately undo that progress by tapping the gen again. So, make sure you don't do that. Because they're just going to run back and tap that gen. That's all they're going to do. Okay, good. You're contesting the save, which is very, very smart. I don't see a lot of people at your hours contest the save. That's really, really good. Really, really good that you're doing that. Somebody to your right is coming for the save as well. Hopefully you saw that. You're going to contest that as well. Fortunately you didn't, but that's okay. You're still breaking up the heal, which is fantastic. Okay. A lot of split pressure right here. They're all Claudettes wearing vaguely the same stuff, so it is kind of confusing who you're chasing. Like, which one was it? This is, yeah, they're all Claudettes except for one person. Yeah, that was a good prediction shot, but like, you know, little funny thing is your Trail of Torment does not stay around gens. So, besides giving her the fear that you're going to hit your M2, there's kind of no reason to do it next to the gen there, because it's just going to disappear anyway. Yeah, Trail doesn't stay around hooks and gens or any other, like, objective where a survivor would be. That was a good attempt. I think one of the things is... Oh, my God! Oh, my God, that was good. You're pretty good at him so far. One thing I will say is, while going for shots with Pyramid Head is arguably like what you play him for because it's fun, is sometimes don't be afraid to zone. It's the boring thing, but don't be afraid to just stick your sword in the ground and just like, you know, zone through the pallet there, and kind of put them in a bad situation and just M1 them. Don't get too prideful. But your shots are really good, so like you do you. Especially on controller, that's pretty hard. That's pretty hard on controller. It's pretty good. I've noticed your mic is on, which is funny, because you're just silent, but I'm just hearing, like, noises every once in a while. I'm like, what is that? That was good. It forces him off the gen. Once again, don't do that. Oh, you're doing it for nowhere to hide. I see. I see. You're trying to get nowhere to hide value. Okay, never mind. I don't know if that's fully worth it, but there's a game plan behind it. I understand. I'm like, why are you dry king a bunch of gens? And it's for nowhere to hide. But even in that regard, like, you know where they are. Like, you're stopping chase with somebody that you can actively see to get aura reading on them, which is, that's not very time efficient. Like, you know where Fong Min is. She just ran to your right. Just follow her. Don't, like, disembark chase to go kick the gen to get value out of your perk. That you could just continue that chase and end the chase. So I see what you're doing, but I don't really side with it. Because, like, now you have no idea where she is, because she got far enough away that she's outside, nowhere to hide. Yeah, so now she's just gone. That's why you don't do that. That's why you don't do that. Don't do it. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to do this, like, and this is just an assumption. I think you're trying to do this thing where you're trying to get a bunch of aura readings so you can go for crazy shots. But as you're finding, stopping to kick a gen while you know where somebody actively is, it's just giving them enough time to run away and get outside the range of nowhere to hide, which is not working in your favor. Besides this person who decided to just stay here for some reason, who is probably unaware that you have the perk. See, there you go. See, you just zoned that time. You didn't go for the shot. Perfect. Yeah, you're giving up a lot of chases to get value out of nowhere to hide. Which, thankfully, the team doesn't seem too coordinated, so they're not getting a lot of gens done. But a good team would. So I wouldn't be wasting that time. Yeah, they unfortunately do not seem too coordinated, so it doesn't seem like this is going to be a huge detriment for you. But it is something you should probably not do anymore. Mike 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 or 7 2 3 4. You juiced the pallets. The fact that you probably squinted at that and typed that all out, I am Godspeed for the joke. You put a lot of effort into that. Thank you. You're probably like. Stupid name. I wonder how they come up with that. Like, why do they have names like that? Just type that all out. So you don't know where anybody is, so you're going back to potentially contest a save. That's the smart thing to do. If you don't know where to go, it's likely somebody is coming for the save if you have somebody on hook, so that's a good place to check. That's smart. It's a good macro game. So with the game reviews, you have fun with your games, though. You guys do that that totem sound alert redemption so much that I just assumed that's what was happening. I didn't realize that was in the match review. Why would they be healing over there? Okay. Realistically, I would go after Mike here. You don't really need to yet, but you want to keep the pressure. Yeah, you want to, with that situation, I know you're trying to like hit people while you're going to the hook, but realistically, you should be looking up the whole way. You should be looking up the whole way. You mothed into that. And now, obviously, you have very low hours in the game compared to most people, so that's like a very, like, you know, normal mistake to make it at your level. But always look up. Always look straight up while you're carrying somebody. Unless you're certain nobody's around. You wanted a bad situation. Honestly, you're performing above your level so far. You're performing above your level, which is good. Very, very good. Especially with your shots, especially on controller. You're performing above your hours. Who are you watching? This is our Monday match reviews, Alice. People send me match reviews to tell them how to improve and be better. Not just a killer, but in general. It's just I mostly get killer because that's what I'm better at. Prefer to look down. You don't look down. The reason you don't look down is because there will be certain scenarios where you'll be in an elevated position and you will look down and you'll get flashlight saved that way. That's why you don't do that, because you'll get caught that way real bad. Yo, Charlie. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah, Shelly. Thank you for this whopping. Wow, we've known each other a while. Wow, thank you so much for that, friend. Thank you for the 6 months, friend. Yeah, you don't look down because you're in an elevated position like Pride Rock or upstairs in a main building or something like that. And you're looking down, somebody can get you from a flashlight angle from down there. That clip, that really funny clip I got on Father Campbell's Chapel while playing Dwight against that spirit. Like, if she had looked down, I think I just got the timing right. But if she had looked down there, it wouldn't have mattered because I just would have got her anyway. So that's why you don't look down. You prefer matches for these reviews to have Mike, or no? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Matter of fact, it's probably better if you don't do Mike with it, because, like, I'm not talking over you while trying to give you advice. You know. That helps. See, now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. You know, you're fine. You could have potentially M1'd there and just hit her. My voice is horrifying, so is mine, but I still stream and make YouTube content all the time. You, like, literally... See, this is what I don't understand. Like, you literally hear her. You know almost exactly where she is because you can hear her. But you decide to kick the gen anyway for the order reading. Luckily, she's dumb and it works out. But, like, you can also just hear her. You seem kind of lost on where to hook her there. Have a good one. See you, Red. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you, bud. Probably see you in somebody else's stream later, I imagine. See how it goes. Even if I'm lurking. Hiding. Like I usually do. I don't know, I've just been in a weird mood lately. I had a lot of bad stuff happen in my life in like quick succession. And I just kind of want to be by myself. I haven't been hanging out in a lot of Discords and stuff either. That's gonna be your big one of your big takeaways is the kicking for nowhere to hide value. Like, you heard them, but because you're kicking that, they're like, okay, he's kicking that, and then they run away. We had a match review recently with Scovid, where Scovid lost a match because they were trying so hard to get perk value that they literally threw the game. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, you're gonna go for her and chop her out. Smart. They like the other Claudette! I like the other Claudette! You could have got that. You're just a little hasty. You're a little eager. You were a little eager. You could have got that. Although you've been hitting all like great shots almost this entire time, so like I can't really blame you. I would have had faith I would have hit that too if I was hitting the kind of shots that you've been this whole match. You've been doing fantastic. So you don't commit to that. So you commit to the tunnel, then you give up on the tunnel. Indecision is typically not a good thing in terms of, obviously, since most of match reviews are matches in any game are kind of based on like efficiency and decision. Indecision is typically not. Like, even if you commit to a wrong idea, you're committing to something. Once again, she is literally right there to your left. Like, literally, if you had walked 3 feet and swung, she'd be dead right now. But here you are kicking a generator when you should have a down right now. Stop doing this. Making my head hurt. Isn't Hawks the name of the, isn't that the Singularity's, like, lore name? I just realized that down there. Isn't that the Singularity's lore name? Am I wrong about that? I thought I remembered reading that. Oh, we gotta react Andy tomorrow. I didn't realize that. React Andy on Tuesdays. It's fun. It's a fun day of the week. It's Hogs? Ah, gotcha. I was close. See, like, if you had committed to that tunnel earlier, it's because Mike was on that gen. Mike was on that gen. And if you committed to them earlier instead of just giving up on them, you could have, you know, prevented that gen from getting done. Because they would just be dead. And similar, you aren't going after them now. I know you're trying to prioritize the injured survivor, but you're not going after... You have somebody deathlick right in front of you that you're ignoring. Good zone. Good zone. Perfect zone. Perfect zone. Okay, this is a bad cage. And I'm going to explain really quickly a very pyramid-specific thing. When do I cage? When do I not cage? Why is this a bad cage? Why is this a bad time to cage? So, we're going to pause this right here, because this is the point at which you can see why this is a bad cage. So, you down her here, and the way the cages of Torment work is there are specific spots across every map that they will spawn. But the way they work is when you cage somebody, they go to one of the furthest points across the map. Now, if you take a gander and if you look, you have somebody hooked over there. Right there in the yellow, dead center. You have somebody hooked over there already. So what you're doing is you're making it really easy for one survivor to swoop in, which they probably are already on the way to get this hook save realistically anyway, to just swoop in and just double unhook really closely. Like, just do it like real quick, heal them both up real quick, and then call it a day. And do it super, super quickly, right? So, ideally in this same situation, what you want to do is cage them, or not cage them, but hook them instead, and cage when you are certain that there's multiple people around you. When survivors are grouped up right next to you, cage them, because that sends them across the map, which makes it very inconvenient for them to save, and it's a time waster, and match time is gen time. So, wasting time for the survivors wastes gen time. It prevents it from happening. Hey, Tess. Good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're feeling a little bit better. I know you were a little ick earlier today. See? Somebody wasn't root for the save. It's like I know my stuff. It's like I know my stuff. I would hope so. 4.5k hours. No. Probably at least rest. Take it easy to try and feel better. Ooh, good awareness. Good awareness. Very, very good awareness. You play better than somebody who has 300 hours. You play way better than somebody who has 300 hours. That's the thing that cage went over there. It went very far to the right. Usually it would send him, like, right about where you're standing. Yeah, it would send him right about where you're standing if you had caged her there, where you downed her. But she went very far to the right, which is interesting. I wonder if the game kind of had a hiccup there. Because that's not realistically where that cage should have went. Yeah, she's just down in the middle of nowhere. Okay. They got the Feng Min up. You still have one of the Claudets down though. She's dead, which is good. They're healing up too. Good shot. Good shot. Like Apple was saying earlier, going with your gut. And you'll get more mileage out of Pyramid Head the more you play the game. Because the more you understand the pathing of survivors, the more you're going to get spicy hits like that. Just because you have a general idea of where people like to be, even if you can't physically see them. I don't see how this goes wrong for you. It seems like this goes well for you. Which is fine. There's plenty of... not plenty, but there's some things I can see you can do better. But this will still be helpful for you. Keep forgetting their mic is on, and I'm just like, why am I hearing voices? I need to go back to therapy. This poor Claudette has not understood that you have nowhere to hide this entire match. Like, she's had no clue. Yeah. Get that chop. Get that chop. Yeah, so it looks like this goes well for you. It's at least a 3K. At least a 3K. Try to maybe see it. The issue here with using nowhere to hide as like an info at the end game is like she's not going to be going for the gen. She's going to be looking for hatch. So it's not particularly too helpful in the end game. Which is why I personally don't use nowhere to hide too much. I don't like perks that just like stop mattering at a certain point, you know? That being said, I like surveillance a lot, so what do I know? Surveillance is on one of my favorite builds. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, I don't know. Don't look into that. Don't answer that. I know you don't have to say it, I know. You're not really, like, thoroughly searching the map, you're just kind of, like, going back and forth. If you're gonna, like, scan the map, I would actually go... What I like to do is I like to go all the way around, and then go through the middle if I haven't, seen it on all the way around. Also, I've noticed that like hatch also likes to spawn generally like where you have like sometimes it likes to spawn where you've downed the last person. I don't know why that is, if there's any sort of consistency to that, but it's just something I've noticed. That like not with any massive amount of consistency, it'll only be like 60-70%, but like a lot of the time it'll spawn near the last person you killed for some reason. Why, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just the thing. Alright. In the interest of brevity. Okay, you find it. You get her. Okay. You find her on this door. At this point, it kind of doesn't matter. You just face her, kill her, or let her go. She just lagged really hard. She just rubber banded very hard. Don't BM. BMing is for the weak. We do not need it. We will not use it. We let our results speak for ourselves. Alright, what did they bring? Anything crazy? Not that it would necessarily matter. They were not playing in a very coordinated way. They had double proof. That's interesting. They had double proof themselves. That's probably the only reason they got as deep into the match as they did. Is because they had double proof thyself. Other than that, I don't think they would have got that deep into the match because, ooh-wee, that was a game. That was a game, and they did not play very coordinatedly, and they spent a lot of the time grouped up, which allowed you to kind of like split your pressure pretty easily on them. So they made a lot of mistakes that contributed to this going as well for you as it did. You also did fairly well. You are performing above your hours, some of your hours, in terms of like your understanding of pyramid space kit, your understanding of going for shots, when to pressure the hook, when not to pressure the hook. You seem to have a lot. You seem to have a lot of the stuff that a lot of people don't learn for the next like 500-ish hours. You already have a lot under your belt, it seems like, which is really good. But the two main things I would say for you as a takeaway for this is A, what I've been saying the whole match, and probably your biggest takeaway is you really like Nowhere to Hide. You really like this as a perk to help you find where survivors are, which is fine. That's why Nowhere to Hide is a good perk. But there are several times where you'll be mid-chase, and there was quite literally when you were at that one jungle gym at the kind of like that top side of the map, where literally you forewent downing the survivor to get aura reading. You had to walk 3 more feet and swing at them, and they were dead. And you forewent downing the actual survivor to get Nowhere to Hide value, which was just really silly. And you do it a lot this match. None were quite as bad as that scenario where you literally like forewent getting the down on the person in order to get the Nowhere to Hide value, but like a lot of it was like losing a lot of chases. Like there was at least 2 or 3 times where you were mid-chase with somebody, stopped to go kick the gen, and then because they kept running, they were no longer in Nowhere to Hide radius anymore, so you just lost them entirely. So this match should have went even better for you if you weren't stopping and kicking the gen all the time just to get value out of one perk. Just because a perk is good and can get you value does not mean you should rely on it in all circumstances. You should know when or when not to use it. In this case, what I will tell you very firmly is that if you are already in chase, there's no reason to stop midway just to kick a gen to get Nowhere to Hide value. Just finish the chase, then, you know, kick the gen and see if somebody else was around. But there's no reason mid-chase to go in and kick the gen with Nowhere to Hide. There's no reason to do that. So that's a bad habit, and you should stop doing that. Second, like what I said, it kind of ended up working out for you because it was weird. But caging with Pyramid Head, you want to cage when you know survivors are grouped up near you, because the cages send the survivors far away on purpose. So if you send them far away and you know people are far away, like you kind of did in that scenario, you're just going to end up in safer, more quick saves for the survivors. You typically want to cage survivors when they're grouped up close to you. That way it sends the cage far away and they have to cross map to go get it and waste a lot of time, and match time is gen time. So yeah, pretty straightforward. When I saw your low hour count, I thought I was going to have to say a lot more, but you have a lot of fundamentals already on your belt, which is really nice. But those are the 2 things that I would work on for you. All right, that was pretty straightforward. Like I said, they're pretty good Pyramid Head. They're pretty good.